in the closet. What do you got right
Tomatoes to me.
there? Tomatoes?
Yeah.
Hey, there's a couple of yellow tomatoes in there.
That one there, it's got that pointed on it.
Yeah.
What's called an ox heart.
An ox fart.
Ox heart?
Ox heart. Oh, I thought you said an ox fart. What's an ox fart?
There's not that many people.
Well, hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheraton Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. So today we are up at the property that we're going to be buying. We've brought a load of stuff from our farm in Greensboro up here. Going to unload that. We've got some equipment up here that we need to get loaded on the trailer. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We've got something exciting that we got going on there. Thought we weren't going to get to do it this year, but we're going to get to do it anyway. So because of the move. So hang around with us for a little bit. Let's get some stuff unloaded. Let's load some stuff back up that needs to go somewhere. We're going to show you a couple of the buildings, and we're going to talk a little bit more real briefly about the property here, acreage, and some of those kinds of questions that we got after the last video. So hang out with us for a little bit. Yeah. Let's see. So on one of our other trips up here to the farm to bring a load of stuff, we went ahead and brought the brooders. And a couple of weeks ago, Sandra and I were working on processing that last group of chickens and turkeys that were left at the farm. And while we were doing that, she had the bright idea of Thanksgiving turkeys and how we could work that out and actually have Thanksgiving turkeys available. So what we're going to do is we're going to load these brooders up on the trailer, and we're going to take them over to our buddy Jamie Miles at Seven Stands Farm, and we're going to take the lights. We got some bricks of shavings, we've got feeders, we've even got a little feed. So we're going to take these brooders over to Jamie's. We're going to set them up at his place. He's going to get the turkey poults in the mail one day this week, Thursday of this week. He's going to brood them for a couple of weeks till we can get moved up, and then once those turkey poults are ready to go out on pasture, let me show you where they're going. So this is where we're going to put our turkeys. This is the pasture as you're coming onto the property, coming out the driveway that's over on the right. And of course they won't use all of this, but we'll use a big chunk of this. We'll set up some netting. We'll put a couple of chicken tractors out here and let them have the chicken tractors to go into at night. We'll set up a couple of the sections, a couple of the 100-foot sections of the Premier One poultry netting. And we're going to finish those turkeys out right here on this pasture. The current owners, the folks that we're buying it from, their brother just has finished cutting hay. Kicked it today. I think he's going to come back and rake and bale probably tomorrow or the next day. So this will be nice and clean, nice short grass, ready for those turkeys to go on to. But y'all, what an environment to be raising those animals on. Right here at the foot of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Kind of hard to tell where the mountain is. That's the mountain over there, one of them. But yeah, this is going to be a beautiful place for those turkeys. We'll put a solar energizer on them, and we'll give them all this, we'll give them some space, move them around a couple times, and be a great place for those turkeys to be raised. And that's going to give us some turkeys for Thanksgiving, and it's also going to give Jamie some turkeys for Thanksgiving. So if you're in the central to western part of North Carolina and you would be interested in a nice pasture raised Thanksgiving turkey, This is a joint effort between Sheraton Park Farms and Seven Stands Farm for some really nice Thanksgiving birds. We're going to raise these birds out to about 14 weeks. No hormones, no antibiotics. Fully raised on pasture. They will probably be, Sonner, how big will these turkeys be at processing? 10 to 18 pounds. You know, hens are always a little smaller, toms are a little bit bigger. No, that's a big spread, but in our experience, sometimes we can have a big spread. So let's get these things loaded up. We're going to take them over to Jamie's. We'll go around and show a couple other quick things here on the farm while we're here. Primary purpose today was to come up and unload the trailer. We brought a bunch of stuff up. My parents came down, my grandmother came down. They wanted to see the place, so we've just had a nice quiet day up here, and I'll tell y'all, this is gonna be a great place to raise animals and do a little farming. All right, I know that sun's awful harsh. Got the brooders loaded up. So real quick while we're here, this building is one of the buildings that's on the property. And I think we measured it, it's about, what was it, son, about 50 by 50? This is about a 50 by 50 pole barn. It is open through, so we can pull through, you know, if you were out there loading hay, baling hay on the other side in the field where the turkeys are gonna go, real easy to bring the hay in and stack it inside of this building. But about a 50 by 50 pole building. We're going to put power to this. We met with the electrician last week. There's a power pole right there, the other side of those two chestnut trees. So we're going to drop a line, bring it over here. We're going to put a meter box on this, and we'll have some outlets and some lights in this so that we can work in there at night and take care of things at night. Thinking this may be a good place next spring, whenever we're here full time, to actually set the brooders up and brood our chickens, our baby chicks, in here before they go out on pasture. So nice building here. This is much improved over the barn that we've got at our Greensboro farm. But metal building, again, it's about 50 by 50, probably 25 feet tall inside. So nice high building. The owners are going to be nice enough to let us keep the hay. I counted the other day, I think I got about 65 rolls of hay over here. So off to a good start there. I've already brought some of our stuff up, all of our chicken processing stuff. It's in here temporarily. Working on getting our chicken processing facility, I guess you'll call it, set up for next year. That's another thing the electrician's going to do, is help us get some work done to get that ready, but we'll figure all that out later on. So, but yeah, this is one of the buildings on the property. Excited to have this. Think this is going to be real beneficial. Be really easy to come in here, put in some stalls if we needed to have some stalls in here for animals. Be real easy to put up, you know, either some doors or some gates on the openings here, other side of where the truck is, or right here where we can walk in. So one of the buildings here on the property. Don't know what we're going to call it yet. What we're going to call this? The hay barn? I think it's what we've been calling it so far, ain't it? Yeah, we've been calling it the hay barn. So everything here will end up with a name. Fields will end up with names. You know, everything just, that's the way it is. Okay, so we got the truck unloaded, and it's kind of funny. We'll go outside and I'll show you a little bit more about this building in a second. But everything that I had in the shop at the farm in Greensboro fit in this little corner right here in this building. And that little building down there was chocked full. I even put the wood splitter in here, and I had it outside at the other building. So we got everything in this corner. But this is, I think this is going to be called the shop building. Again, I don't know what buildings are going to end up being called what. If I remember right, about a 60 by 40 building here. Open span. There was an addition that was put over on this right side after it looks like after it was built. And behind that wall, I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of dark in here. Behind that wall, there's an outside entrance, and that's a run-in for some horses. The folks that own the property now have had horses here, and so that was a run-in for the horses over there. But two big, I guess these are probably 16-foot maybe garage doors, full drive-through, power in here. There's an outlet over here on the wall, a couple of outlets right here beside the door, another outlet over there beside that door. There's water in here. There's a yard hydrant in here. It's right back here in this corner over there. So we've got water, power. We've got a drain in the floor, so if we need to wash something down in here, we can wash something down, whether it's a car, a tractor, piece of equipment, whatever it needed to be. Heck, we really could process chickens in here, I guess, because we got the drain. So really nice building. This is again another huge upgrade from the property in Greensboro. So a lot of the equipment is still here. It's going to be going away, except for a couple pieces we're in negotiations on. So there may be a couple things that are left behind. We'll talk about that after that kind of thing is secured. But big upgrade here. Thinking eventually we may come in and build an office in here so that we can kind of have all the farm business centralized here and nothing in the house except for just home, and have a very clear separation of that, so that we're not, tripping over ourselves and blurring those lines between home and work. I know that's hard to do when you own your own business and it is a farm, but we think that may be something beneficial to come in here, over here, maybe over here in the corner where the blue tractor is, and we put the stuff from our other shop. Maybe a good spot for an office. So yeah, that will probably be something we're going to do here. Building does not have heat and air, really not much insulation in it, which is, that's fine. That's no problem. Thinking about putting a wood stove in this winter, so that we can come up here and work when it's cold and rainy and nasty and snowy and all that kind of stuff outside. Huge addition here. We can bring chicken tractors in here and repair chicken tractors at the other farm. If we wanted to do something like that, we had to do it outside. If you remember, whenever we built the egg mobile, we had to do it outside on the pad in front of the house. This would have been a much better situation here to be able to pull that egg mobile in here and work on it. Plus, we got lights. We can work after dark. So in the wintertime, it gets dark early, so this will give us a lot more options to be able to work on stuff in the wintertime, and even in the summertime, to pull stuff in and get in the dry and just work on it. Kubota side by side, still negotiations on that one too. We'll see how that one works out. But so yeah, shop building, 60 by 4, I think it's about 60 by 40, huge building. Be able to do a lot of work in here, so I think that's going to give us a lot of options. So those are the two buildings that we're going to show today. Let's talk real quick about the size of the property and show you just a little bit of it. We'll probably use some of the drone footage from the last video. So let's talk a little bit about the property itself. So a quick overview on the property itself. And I had said it on the last video, and I'll say it again. We feel immensely blessed that the good Lord gave us an opportunity to care for 20 acres on the other farm, and now he's given us an opportunity and trust us enough to care for 70 acres of his creation. So before I say anything, we just want to acknowledge that we are extremely blessed to be here. So this property is located in Wilkes County at the foot of the Blue Ridge Mountains. From right here to the Blue Ridge Parkway, which is a national park, we're about 10, maybe 15 minutes, not far at all, the Blue Ridge Parkway. We're at the foot of the Blue Ridge Mountains in the Appalachian chain, Wilkes County, western North Carolina. This farm originally, before the owners that have it now bought it, this farm was a dairy farm at one time. The current owners bought it a number of years ago and have done a lot of improvements and a lot of work on the property to make it what it is now. Multiple water sources. There is the primary water source for the property is a spring. Spring box is behind the shop building. Continuous overflow. The owners have told us it's a continuous overflow even whenever things get dry. So that's the main source of water. There's an additional well on the property. We're going to be wiring it up and we're going to be utilizing it to water animals. Overall, this is 70 acres. There's about 40 of it in pasture, about 30 of it in woods. From where I'm standing here right now, we come into the property up that way. Nice long drive. We're way back off the main road. We're probably a third, maybe half mile back off the main road, back up here to the house. And this area that you see right over here, that is part of the property. Goes to the top of the hillside over there. There's about 20-25 acres over there in timber. We'll eventually be running some pigs on that. We got to do some fencing over there. A little bit of work to get ready for pigs, figure out how we're going to get water up there, but that's fine. We can get that figured out. Multiple pastures on the field. There's this main pasture right here, right in front of the house. There's another pasture on the left as you come in the main drive that extends towards the back of the property, back up behind the shop building to the top of the hill, and there's a tree line back there, and that is essentially where the property goes to. From there over to the right, there's another pasture that extends back to the back side of the property as well. Just to the right of that is another feeding barn with loading chute, handling facilities for cattle, a large tall pole building that has a concrete floor. We're probably going to be using that for chicken processing. That's where the freezer is going to be. We're going to put the freezer down and wire that in. So we'll be detailing a lot more of these things as we go along and as we have opportunity and we're showing what's going on. Still have a closing date set for this, the 30th day of September, so we're about 5 weeks out, about 3 or 4 weeks out from closing on our property in Greensboro. So there's going to be a couple of weeks there again that we're going to be sort of floating. We've got a couple of contingencies in place there where we can maybe have a place to lay our head, but we're going to be working to get the animals moved up here, particularly the pigs. We got to get some spaces figured out where we're going to set them out and get them started. Lamb Chop, Fred and Barney, Angel, not too worried about them. We can find them a good spot. They'll be fine. But got a bunch of pigs. Farrowing is going to be taking place here in a couple of weeks. That first group that is in with Hamlet, those girls are set to be farrowing sometime late September, early October. So we got to get them up here and get them set up and ready for farrowing. We're hoping that the trip doesn't cause too much stress and cause an issue there. So a couple of highlights, a couple of buildings that are on the property we're going to be making really good use of. Again, 70 acres here in Wilkes County, foot of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Beautiful up here, just absolutely gorgeous. It's good to be home. We're excited to get moved up here, working diligently to make that as easy a process as we can. Multiple trips during the week after work to try to get stuff up. So early mornings, late nights. But we're getting there, one trip at a time. We got lots of chicken tractors to move. We got farrowing huts to move yet, and we still got most of the house that we got to get moved. So a lot of work to do. So please keep us in your prayers. May God bless you and your family, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.